What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Scale. Like Scale. I think Scale has potential. Like the fact that there's effectively unlimited scalability to Scale. That is sort of the beauty of it. I also want to talk, and I'll talk about what I think it can do in terms of gains, but I also want to talk about Coinbase doing their layoffs because a lot of what's happening at the moment is look, it's reality. They are laying off 20% of the stuff, so that doesn't need to be discussed. But there's not a context to it beyond it's a contagion event or it's crypto winter. This has happened from like every bull bear cycle, so it needs to be discussed because then there's at least a context and the fear doesn't start sweeping through the world in terms of the markets. Before I get into it though, if you're new to the channel, guys, these are the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel. I also owned these when I spoke about them. Now, had you invested just $100 into each of these when I released videos about them, and then, guys, you sat and you did nothing. You did everything wrong. You ignored them for 2 straight years. You just lived your life. You went to the shops, got your milk, did your toast, lived your life, but you didn't sell your coins. If you were still holding them all, you'd still be in profit for around 8K. And that's doing everything wrong. Everything wrong. But if you'd sold these coins last year like I did, when the markets rocketed up, $100 into each would have netted you a profit of 123 grand. Just shows the difference between cashing out at the right time and the wrong time. Now, guys, I sold all these last year. If you want to see the coins I own right now, if you want to see my current portfolio, you can go to copymycrypto.com. The link is above. And there's a clickable link in the description. It's where I share my portfolios, where I give the members real-time updates anytime I buy or sell a coin. It's where I talk about the markets on a daily basis. We have tutorials on the site for beginners. We've got thousands of members, and a lot of them have never invested in anything. On top of that, guys, we have a history of success. We have a proven record, not only on the site, but on the channel. No one in 2020 spoke about Phantom. I did. You won't find a single crypto YouTuber that was talking about Phantom doing huge gains in 2020. I did a Udemy course called The Best Cryptocurrency Investment of 2020. It's all about Phantom. I said it would 100x or more. Obviously, it did a 677x from when I did my Udemy course. Had you put in $1,000, you've been able to buy a very, very nice house. But $2,000 would have netted you a profit of 1.3 million. Now, when I find the next Phantom, I am going to go onto my site. I'm going to tell my members about the coin. I'm going to tell them the gains I think it can have. And I'm going to tell them percentage of my own money that I'm putting into it. And they can copy along. Now, if you want to do that and take the work out of the crypto investing for yourself for this year, then go read the site now. And remember, anything you read, you can go and check and verify on the YouTube channel, guys. Now, Scale. So Scale. Modular blockchain network, and it's designed to bring scalability to Ethereum, obviously, because of all the networks, Ethereum is the one that needs scaling massively. Hence the surge in layer 2s that we've seen over the past few years. Now, Scale is the only blockchain network that should be capable of running an unlimited number of fast, on-demand, pooled security blockchains with 0 gas fees to end users. Now, that's very, very appealing. The individual chains are known as scale chains and can be dApp specific or shared. And the beauty of this is obviously, the beauty of this, is that those that build via Solidity smart contracts, they're going to be thousands of times faster at a fraction of the main net cost. So games, streaming services have already started to take advantage of Scale's infrastructure, and they're going to have to continue to grow this. And if they do continue to grow this, there's a lot of hope for Scale. You know, Scale are growing pretty well. They're actually able to do 10 million transactions per day per chain. That's how good the scalability of Scale is. They use the Byzantine. Oh God, I can never say it. They use the asynchronous binary Byzantine agreement protocol for each chain. The benefit of the interchain messaging that they have as well is that thanks to that, all the chains can then break through to new what's the phrase to new scaled heights. Now, Scale, what I'm particularly pleased with regards to Scale is a couple of things. Number one, firstly, heavily invested by some big supporters. You got your Winklevoss Capital, Galaxy Digital, Floodgate, etc., etc. But on top of that, they've got grants protocol in place. This grants protocol will allow um, for developers to come and start building with Scale. The multiple grant program offering is to bring to people's work to life on the Scale verse. The ecosystem is $100 million fund. Now that is really goddamn good, particularly when you realize, their market cap's about 100 million at this point. Yeah, it is. So they've built the fund up to really grow and support initiatives for the entire ecosystem. And it depends on what you want to build, but they have innovative programs, gaming, NFTs, and so on. Now, fundamentally, Scale has been hit hard by obviously the uh, the time that it launched, because it launched, just prior to just before the beginning of 2021. Obviously, we had that huge, just enormous surge in terms of price appreciation in sort of March and April for the overall markets. Then we had that second run around September, October, November. And then since then it's capitulated. I mean, it reached a height of about 90 cents. And now it's down to like 2.5 cents, which is insane in terms of drop. But we're in a bear cycle. These things happen. Now, I'm not actually hugely convinced that we're going to see like Scale start to run up to like, you know, anything more than $1, to be honest. At the moment, what we do have to be aware of is that there's still quite a lot of tokens to be released. We're currently at 4.1 billion that's out. There is a max supply of 7 billion. But one thing that you need to be aware of is that in terms of percentage that is earmarked for the team, the 16% was allocated to the broader founding team, 10% to the Scale Foundation, and then there was 4% to the core team pool and 1.3% to the ecosystem fund. There really wasn't much allocated to the ecosystem fund initially. But with 16% allocated to the broader founding team, that is what, 1.1 billion? Yeah, 1.12 billion. That's a lot of tokens. So, when the founding team decide that they want to cash in, they're going to be able to, and if they decide to cash in all at once, obviously that would horribly impact the market. There's not necessarily evidence that that's going to happen, but it does have to just be in someone's head that can happen. Now, in terms of what Scale's next Scale statistics are, which I always like to look at the data regarding sort of what the network has done and the benefits and the upside, the downside. So when we take a look, right, total gas fees saved has been $484 million. It's pretty good. Can't argue with that. There's been 9.8 million transactions over the past 30 days. So Scale is doing good volume. Active users over the last 30 days, however, has been dwindling. Obviously, there was a big surge in November, but not really. Well, to be fair, August, October, September, October, November. So it was actually going all right. But 33,000 is currently the active users on the network at the moment. Um, that is also then can be checked against the current explorers. So we can check Etherscan. We can see there's currently 22,500 holders on Etherscan. If we check Explorer, just in case there's any different info, but I don't think they have token holders here, do they? Holders 22. Oh no, bang on the same. 22,600 basically. It's 20 difference. Okay. So there's something there in that, 33,000 active users this month. So far in January. Um, even though there's only 22,500 holders. So we do have to bear that in mind. Like that, those stats don't necessarily weigh up too much unless it's saying like 10,000 people have left, which it could be. Um, but something to pay attention by in terms of um, use case, right? And it's something I always recommend, particularly not now necessarily, although it's kind of relevant because we're in a bear cycle, and from August to November it was growing pretty well. Obviously, it's dwindling a bit now, but watching the user base is key. Like if the user base is going up on a month by month basis, that does bode really well. That means that overall there's there's excitement or there's certainly a narrative of growth. Um, and that's worth doing, whether it's gaming, whether it's um, DeFi, whether it's just a platform, whatever it is, you can find data on everything. And data is key because it will tell you if a trend is currently occurring or if there is a trend about to take off. Um, and the thing is as their network grows, we should see a real run in terms of what ends up in terms of the transactions that occur on a daily basis, on a monthly basis. The number of active users on Scale as well should increase. And as you can see, we have got a number of games here that are interacting that are utilizing Scale. We've got some NFT platforms that are utilizing Scale. Um, it is starting. I mean, that's actually a pretty good goddamn ecosystem when you realize that they've only really been up and running for sort of, you know, 2 years and a couple of months. Um, that's a lot bigger than some of the ecosystems out there. So worth noting. And again, even if it's just taking a screenshot, like just a recommendation, take a screenshot of the current network. If you don't have time to say track all the updates Scale give in terms of partnership here, partnership here, partnership here. Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot of all of the current network, and then come back to it in a couple of months and take another screenshot. Has it changed? Compare them. It's an easy way. It's a simple way, and it's a low tech way to track and to track the movements in a network. Worthwhile doing, and really in the long run, it's a good habit to be in, and it can earn you money. Um, In terms of what Scale can do, look, it's got a circulating supply of 4 billion right now. You know, so can it reach $1? I mean, feasibly it can, because it is growing. But again, I would be basing what it will do in the future on how it grows over the next 18 months. So I would be watching the growth in the next 18 months. But they do have stuff like the Scale EK initiative coming. Um, they are innovating, they are growing, and they are pushing. So, 50 cents I think is fairly inevitable. I think this can certainly do 50 cents, which is about 20x. Um, but if they grow, if they are um, particularly growing their DeFi range of projects that utilize the Scale infrastructure, then very possibly we could see a run back up to about, very possibly we could see a run to $1. But conservatively now, I would say 50 cents because they have grown so fast. So it is a case of like they've already grown so well. Adding to that now is hard. It's hard for them to add to it to a significant enough degree that they're gonna that you would say that this is a really fast growing project because they've done so much in such a short space, and it's worth bearing in mind. But to track what this can do, watch the ecosystem growth. So take screenshots, watch the statistics month by month. They share that. That's open source. You can check that, check all the data on that. And if that's increasing month by month, you've probably picked up on a trend that's either occurring or about to explode. And if those two things are happening, maybe a shot of $1, but I would still say 50 cents conservatively. But what do you guys think? Unlimited scalability, that's pretty exciting. And if they can bring that, that could feasibly could take some of Polygon's market share. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see the coins I own right now, you can go to copymycrypto.com. On that site, I share my portfolio. I give the members all real-time updates anytime I buy or sell a coin. I release videos on a daily basis talking about the markets. I have tutorials set up for the beginners as well, because we do have thousands of members and a lot of them have never invested in anything. So these tutorials help along the way. And we have a history of success on both the site and the channel. We've had big wins on both. Phantom is obviously a win that occurred on both. Phantom, I said, would 100x or more. It did 677 times gains. Now, I will find another Phantom, another coin that I'm that confident on that I'd be prepared to make a Udemy course, but I won't make a Udemy course. I'll go onto my site and I'll tell my members about the coin. I'll tell my members the gains I think it can have. I'll tell them the percentage I'm putting in. And if they want to, they can copy along. And if that interests you and you want to copy along, then go to the site and read through. And remember, you can check everything that's said there against the YouTube channel's history. And last thing, guys, Coinbase, right? They've cut 20% of their global workforce. It's the third round of job slashing over the last year as key crypto companies go under. So the company has announced the third round of layoffs in a year as part of a restructuring plan. The move follows the sharp downfall in the value of crypto and has been blamed on that as well as the slowing global economy. The company chief executive and co-founder said the impact of bad actors in the industry has also hit Coinbase. Obviously, talking about FTX and Celsius and Voyager. But look, this is not outside the norm. We do know this is this happens historically. It always has happened. In November they cut 60 jobs in its recruiting, and they slashed 1,100 jobs back in June. And they said they're going to shut down several projects where they have low probability of success. Affected teams will receive communication on this today, or other projects will continue to operate as normal, just with fewer people on the team. This is part and parcel of what you have to do while you're running a business and there's an economic downturn. And look, we saw it. Like, this is just me searching Kraken layoffs from January 2018 to 31st of December 2018. This was the previous bear cycle. That was the first year. And we saw Kraken CEO confirms firing spree in Halifax. 57 staff laid off. So it was rumored that 57 employees from their Halifax office in Canada were laid off. The confirmation of staff reductions at the crypto giants follows speculation, rumors, and posts that Kraken employees were seen leaving. The Kraken chief, however, denied rumors of a security breach and confirmed that no other branches were affected. He also sought to emphasize that the digital asset venue is still aggressively hiring in all areas. So he said that staff have been cut in an effort to reduce costs and better align with the pace of growth in the industry. The cost-saving measure will have zero impact on the quality of our service. Again, like this happened in 2018. That was just Kraken, right? We see it. We see it every bear cycle. There has to be layoffs because because these companies overhire. They have to overhire. They don't overhire, they hire proportionally. When there's bull cycle and you've got millions more users, guess what? You probably need a lot more workers. So you hire the workers to deal with the workload. And then when the workload dwindles, you need to lay off the workers because you don't need them for the workload that's occurring. That's all that's happened. And it's not a fear. It is the way it's reported is fear mongering around the crypto space. And obviously, we're in a bear cycle. No one's arguing that. But, you know, report this sensibly. Don't report it as a crypto winter has another victim. That's the kind of crap that I keep reading. So I just want to remind people these things happened. They happened in other companies. They'll happen. They'll happen in other companies in the next year, I'm sure. Again, it's inevitable because that's what these companies have to do when a bull cycle is in full flow. All of a sudden, you've got 100 million more users than before. So just bear that in mind, guys, and don't get too worked up about this crap. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you're all keeping well. Take it easy. Bye bye.